Hey everyone, happy weekend, happy Saturday. I hope you're doing well. So this morning I just have a short message for my community, um, especially before the holidays that are coming up. This is the last weekend before the holidays, the actual days, and also we have one more maybe before the end of the year. But what I wanted to talk about today is just to encourage anyone that maybe the year didn't go well, that all of us in this world, actually everyone has most of the people right now at least have something going on. Okay, meaning maybe one part of life may be doing well, the other isn't. But we also know many people have been let go and are looking for jobs and that kind of thing, or looking for work. So these are some of the things that, for me at least, I've had to learn also the hard way. I talk about this because many of these have also been my experience. So first of all, one of the things I've learned is that in life, it's never going to be like a straight line getting to where it is that we want. Okay, there's going to be ups, there's going to be downs, there's going to be sunshine, there's going to be rainfall, there's going to be day, there's going to be night, there's going to be hills, there's going to be valleys. I think you get what I mean. So with that said, just know that this is how life is. Okay, the other thing is that in life we also have to pivot a lot. There are people who are lucky, maybe have held their jobs for a long time. Has been their gig. Great for them. But for many others, maybe you've been at a job, was let go, you went into some other industry or company, you were let go. But if you didn't let go, if you weren't let go, you found maybe it's not the thing for you. Okay, if you followed your heart. And also at times maybe it was where you wanted to work, but the person you work with, let's say a manager, a leader, or teammates, or just something at the company may not have been right. Okay, and you're like, you know what, I'm trying my best, but it's just not a good fit, and you decided to leave. That's life. But the thing that we need to hold on is that we need to remember what it is that we want. And I've talked about in my social that one thing I've also realized, or at least has happened for me, is that during a lifetime there's going to be stages. Maybe in our 20s it tends to be we are finding ourselves, we're trying to see where we are. We may work somewhere, but it's not what we want. We may be in a certain position in life, but maybe we find out later, a few years later, oh, maybe I could have made it this way. Oh, we find out, okay, I've tried this and then I want the other thing. That's also okay. In our 30s, now we're a bit more mature. We know what we want. We tend to learn what we want, and we go for it, or that kind of thing. And by the way, what I'm talking about is both life and work. So it's not just work, but that's how it is. 40s, we're even more mature now. It's like we're stabilizing and things like that, and so on, right? Beyond that, people are being maybe they're kind of in a different stage of life. You feel like in your work you also want to find a way to give back, and this can be in many ways. You may have a job where maybe that it doesn't allow for you giving back, but then you volunteer or you do some other work. Let's say you volunteer in different ways. You go to a hospital, the children's center, or you go to a nursing home, or you go to a food bank, or different ways to volunteer and give back, and that fulfills you. For others, it could be the work that you're doing. That's how you're giving back. Okay, maybe you're helping to bring the next generation, or that kind of thing. So we have to know and be aware that also there's different stages in our lives that this will happen, things will happen, and therefore we give ourselves grace. So the other thing is, there may be people who are going through difficulty. The holidays are not easy. Some people are by themselves. Some people have lost family, especially after COVID. Some people maybe live far from where they originally are from family, and they may not have someone. Others, it could be they don't have the finances, for example, to even just have a good meal. Okay, so we're all going through different things, but what we need to remember is we have to remember humanity in all of this. And I say this because, for example, I was at a breakfast yesterday with a great group of people. I was invited there, and what this nice, it's a little breakfast place. It's not that big. It's a long kind of a back road, but it's not a highway, but it is in a way. It's a major throughway, should I say, from one town to the other. And one of the one of the owners of the place, because it was morning, so there are not many people, and it's a Friday, asks the leader of the group, who is actually the manager, what the group is about. The person tells them where they work, and then they make a very degrading comment that, oh, those are low lives. And this is someone's work. They're there to make these people's lives better, to help the people. I don't want to say, exactly what industry it is, but essentially it's helping people even have a place to live that's subsidized by the state. This is in every state, literally. So it's not just where I live, it's in many of the states. So of course the person didn't answer them, because how do you answer to that? How can you call other people that are going through difficulties that they are low lives? So those are the things, that's one of the things I want to talk about. We have to be very cognizant that any one of us, anyone, even when you're doing good, I'm not kidding, any one of us is one little event, misstep, mistake, or calamity, health issue, anything, job, away from being homeless. This can happen to anyone. It's very few people, the ones in the 1%, that may not be the case. But for majority of everyone else, this is the case. So let's be good to each other. They've said that people hate rich people, and then they also hate poor people. I think there's some truth to that. I don't hate anyone. I would like to be rich if I can. But I don't want to be poor too. But we all have to be cognizant of that, and therefore treat others that may be going through hardships, the homeless, the people. I don't think anyone lives in this world saying, oh, I want to be homeless. Okay. No. Or that I can't find a place I can afford. So, and by the way, please know my audience, I'm not scolding you. I'm just really, it's a rhetorical kind of question, that how can someone think like that when we and not be aware that any of us, this can happen, because it could be a medical issue, especially now with things changing. They don't take your insurance and you have this big bill. It bankrupts you, even though you have a business. Restaurants don't make very big margins. And I'm not picking on this person, but I'm just saying any of us. Our job, something can hit us. Next thing we know, you can't walk, you have to go in hospital. You know what I mean? Any of those things. We may have a medical issue and it changes the trajectory of our lives. I have seen a video where there are many people that have, not many people, there's some people that have interviewed people that are homeless, and you find there's some who had great jobs, who are doing well, but something happened and this happened to them. Divorce, okay, and other kinds of things. So let's be cognizant as we go into the holidays, and if we can, wherever we can, find a way to give back. There are many food banks maybe that are collecting food, even giving just a little bit of food that can be helpful. I know I like also doing volunteer work a lot, but it's not everyone's cup of tea. I'm not saying I do volunteer a lot. Actually, since I moved to another state, now I don't, because opportunities are not there as I used to live elsewhere. Before that, I used to live in Texas. Texas, everything is big, so they tend to be big food banks. But where I live now, they are small, and they're like, we don't need really help because you can't even walk through. You know, so that is what I wanted to say, and also to give anyone that may be going through some hardship in any way. We all have our hardships, and they may not be one way or the other. It could be that maybe someone's looking for a job, they don't have work. It could be that someone, family, they're going through some difficulties, you know, these disagreements and things like that. So I just want to give you hope that it too shall pass. But like, I say this because I'm also doing it. Let's find our own way to either make peace, to make our lives, us to be happy in our own way, and just to keep going. So I won't mumble so much. I wasn't mumbling, but I won't talk too much. I don't want this to be too long, but that's what I wanted to give anyone a message. One of the things that I learned when I was young, and I thank God for giving me that insight, is that I wanted to stop my inner environment to be affected by my outer environment. Meaning, if things are not going well, yes, I may feel bad, but I wanted that I'm not happy dependent on my external environment. So if we can find a way to do that, just find some happiness in any way we can, even a short walk, a short hike. I live in the Northeast area here in the US, and it's cold right now. In fact, it snowed. So if you can't go out and that's too cold, that's okay. But let us find our own little happiness in our own way. If it's playing with our kids at home, maybe playing a game with our loved ones, that kind of whatever it is that brings us together, but not allow the external environment to dictate how we feel inside. Even though I'm very, very aware that yes, if sometimes things are not going right around us, it's hard to be happy. But I know, because it has happened to me, okay? And I had to find my way. Especially back in the day, in 2008-9, during that economic downturn, that was one of the things I had to practice. Just finding a way, small things, finding free things that I don't have to pay money. And there are many if we look around. When I say free, I don't mean just that we are going out and looking for, free things from people. Rather, what I mean is things that make us happy, bring joy to our lives outside of, ourselves. And they're there for free, like nature is what I mean. If there's an event outside, your town or anything else, those kinds of things, be around people, okay? So I want to wish you very, very happy holidays. Of course, so, as the days go, I'm still going to go, and I'm still going to reach out here on the socials. But in the meantime, I wanted to wish everyone happy holidays. And I want to thank you so much for being part of my community. I don't say followers, I will say my community on the different channels. And know that I appreciate you, and that I wish you all the best. I wish you well. And to my friends or the people in my community that may be going through some hardships with looking for work, in the coming year, I'm hoping that I'll share with you some thoughts, some things that could be helpful also. But aside from that, know that I wish you all the best. Thank you so much for being in my community, being in my life. I'm following along as I share my thoughts and things like that. And I would like to hear what else. What would you add to this? Let's share ideas. I've shared mine. If you have anything you can add to this, please do for everyone else. Thanks again. Bye.